Okay, Melissa, are you ready? Melissa, are you ready? Okay. Let's go ahead and call the Circleville City Council meeting to order. It is Tuesday, October the 1st, 2024 at 7 p.m. Melissa, could you please do the roll call?
Keller,
Here?
Hedges,
Absent.
Tice. Here. Plitzka.
Here.
Hallinan.
Here.
Moats.
Here.
Brooks.
Here.
Duval.
Here. If you could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Council, you should have received a copy of the minutes from the September 17th City Council meeting. Do you have any additions or corrections to those minutes? No? Is there a motion to approve? So moved by Jeff Hallinan, seconded by John Moats. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great, thank you so much. Reports from council members and committee reports. Do any council members have a report? Jeff Hallinan, Safety Committee Chair.
Thank you, President Keller. We just had a safety committee meeting prior to this meeting at 6:15, where we reviewed two ordinances that will be forwarded on to our next council.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tom Duval, Service Committee Chair.
Two things. We've got a couple ordinances to discuss this evening. We also are going to call for a service committee meeting prior to council on the 15th, 6:30. The 12th, excuse me. 6:30 on the 12th.
The 15th is Tuesday. Is that what the next
15th
council?
it is.
There you
Service
1 plus 14 would be 15, wouldn't it?
go. I'm staring.
at 6:30 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Sherry Tice, Strategic Planning Chair.
Thank you, President Keller. We did have a strategic planning meeting before this meeting, and we will have an ordinance come to council next time. But tonight, we have two ordinances that are on the agenda. I will speak to them when they come up. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? I would like to announce that on Monday, October the 7th, there will be an NCA meeting held in the council chambers. The time of the meeting is 6 o'clock. Reminding everyone, NCA is a separate body that's been created to consider developments. The body consists of all council members, council president, and the city auditor. Again, that meeting will be next Monday here in council chambers at 6 o'clock. Also, the council clerk position has been posted on the city website. That deadline for applicants is coming soon. Once the deadline passes, I've reached out to a couple council members to help me with the interview process of applicants. I want to thank the two council members I've reached out to help me, and we will work on a schedule to set up those interviews and review the applicants. Lastly, 2 weeks from tonight is October the 15th. It is preview night for the Circleville Pumpkin Show. We still will have a council meeting at 7 o'clock. Prior to the meeting, we'll have service committee at 6:30. So I just want to let you know that so you can plan accordingly to get downtown, get you something to eat prior to the meeting, and come up to the council meeting. But again, preview night, 2 weeks from tonight on October the 15th.
So we won't be able to park on Court Street.
You will not. You have to walk in. Reports from city officials that are here tonight as council guests. We have the city auditor, law director, and mayor. Mark, do you have a report?
I do not.
Kendra, do you have a report?
Just briefly, President Keller, just want to make council aware that obviously last Tuesday night, unfortunately, we did lose the shelter house at Ted Lewis Park. I'm sure by now everybody's heard. There was a suspect arrested and subsequently charged. The defendant will appear in court on Thursday in front of the municipal court judge for a preliminary hearing. But again, I think based upon kind of the after briefing, that it seems like our law enforcement and our EMS and fire personnel handled the job superbly. Obviously, we were able to, handle the suspect and get charges filed and the subsequent court immediately. So I do want to give kudos to not only the Circleville Police Department, but the Circleville Fire and EMS for all they did that evening.
Yeah, that's a historical building, shelter house, if you will, that we lost. And so hopefully we have good plans for something to replace it with. Thank you, Kendra. Mayor Michelle Blanton.
Hi, thanks. Just a few things. A few of us traveled up to Reynoldsburg and Groveport to view the YMCA and community centers that they have in those two communities, to get some advice and or suggestions or recommendations for how they funded it. Both are very unique buildings, very unique funding structures for how this continues our look into the possibility of having a community center here, considering that it's been brought up and through other means. There was a kickoff event. If you're not aware, there was a kickoff event for a new event center at the Pickaway County Fairgrounds. The Pickaway County Agricultural Society is looking to build a new building on the fairgrounds site, right across from Nicholas Drive. If you see where they've recently done some gravel work, that is where that is planned. Very nice, unique plans for a community center building there. Not a community center building, but an event center building on that property. You may have read that the service director, along with American Structure Point, went up to the Ohio Rail Development Commission, and we were successful in the awarding of, or the approval of, $2.5 million towards the project of grade separation. So with council's approval, that will set us at $5 million. We are asking the federal government for the remaining $20 million that project could potentially cost. So keep that in mind. The October newsletter went out yesterday, so if you didn't receive that, please contact the city planner, Hannah Wynn, and get on the list to receive the newsletter. And then you may or may not hear or know, the city has hired a consultant for communications to evaluate the potential need for a communications director within the city government. And so they are going to be interviewing people who do those tasks throughout the city staff, and he will be providing a report that will come to council in November.
Is that it?
That's the end.
Does anyone have questions for the elected officials here tonight? Jeff?
I had one I just thought of. We just did the grant for money for the shelter. Did we have any kind of insurance tied to that?
I know that there have been conversations with our insurance company. I haven't heard specifically what the results of that have been, but the service director would have that information.
Thank you.
Jeff, I can speak to that.
Okay.
You did file with the insurance company. It is covered. Basically, it's going to cover everything except for the concrete, because if they replaced it, they would be able to build it on the slab of concrete that's out there now.
Gotcha.
So basically, the cost of the building without the slab is what they would be covering.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
So we will get some money helping with.
Do you know the
Anyone-
dollar amount?
Sorry.
Do you know how much? we're
No,
looking at?
they actually went out there and they were doing all the pictures and all that. Actually,
Okay.
while they were out there taking pictures, part of it actually fell down. So
Oh.
they weren't underneath it at the time, but yeah, they were taking pictures, the insurance company. So we should get an estimate, I'm sure, pretty soon.
Great. Any other questions for the elected officials? All right, thank you. Would anybody like to address city council this evening? People are welcome to come to the podium and have 5 minutes. No? All right. Melissa, do we have any communications?
No.
No communications, all right. That brings us to the business portion of tonight's meeting. We have several pieces of legislation, so Linda, or Melissa, if you want to go right ahead.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into a consultation agreement with Small Nation.
Council, you've heard the first reading of the resolution coming from the Strategic Planning Committee. Sherry?
Thank you, President Keller. This proposal came to us from the mayor, who would like to enter into this agreement with Small Nation. Mayor Blanton, could you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so as I said in the meetings with the Strategic Planning Committee, Small Nation is an organization that is out of Bell Fountain. They have done some historical work in downtown Bell Fountain. They have a formula that they have put together to go into other communities and evaluate and provide a report to those communities. The money is currently budgeted for this. This is permission for me to enter into the agreement.
That's it. Thank you. Any other questions, comments, or is there a motion?
I'd like to make a
Make a
motion
motion
to
to
suspend rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Zach Brooks, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Tice,
Yes.
Plitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act on the resolution.
Motion for adoption?
Motion for adoption by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Duval. Roll call, please, on the motion for adoption.
Tice,
Yes.
Plitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted.
Resolution number 1069, 2024. An ordinance expressing an intent to purchase 2.15 acres more or less of land for parkland and authorizing the execution of related agreements and documents and appropriating funds by the city auditor and director of public service, therefore, and declaring an emergency.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance, again from the Strategic Planning Committee. Sherry?
Thank you. Yes, this came from the service director. They have entered into an agreement to purchase the green space north of Atwater Elementary for a neighborhood park. So explain to us the process there and the cost. Are there any other questions?
Yeah.
Jeff?
I have one just on the timing of this. I mean, we're talking about almost $200,000. We've got a levy that we may or may not pass. That money could easily fund 3 employees for a year. To me, it just seems fiscally irresponsible to buy this property at this current time. So that's all I have to say from that standpoint.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Tom?
I totally support what Jeff was saying. On the other hand, we actually in strategic planning, the previous council discussed this and the fact that we need parks within the various parts of Circleville. This would be a very nice park in the Atwater Park or the Atwater area. Apparently, if I understood correctly, there is a developer who would like to purchase that. And it's just like when we've lost other parts of the school system, once they're gone, they're gone. And I think this is an opportunity where if we wanted to secure that property, if we don't secure it now, we probably will lose that opportunity. So on the other hand, as opposed to Just Point, which I totally support, I think sometimes we need to look to the future and make decisions on that basis.
Yeah, and I agree. I would love to have that property. To buy a property so somebody else doesn't buy it, and then with all that we have going on, that's just,
If I were to be bitter, I'd say that if we bought it 2 years ago, we got it for 100, but I'm not a bitter person.
Any other questions or comments?
Well, yes, I do want to say that we have been discussing this property at Atwater for several years. It is part of our strategic plan that was recommended that we purchase, and there is no other property like this in the north end. That area was, playground equipment was there at Atwater School, and that served those children in that area, which has a lot of children, actually. So the park board is in favor of it. The service department was in favor of it, and they pursued it. It wasn't something that, that we went after. It was actually them. And Jim said he thought it was a good deal because it will be gone if we do not buy it now. I certainly wish we already had the levy passed, and that wasn't an effect, that wasn't a factor here. And to Tom's point, I wish we had done it 2 years ago also, but we had to prioritize at that point, and we prioritized the south end. So now it's turned for the north end, which, hasn't had a lot of love lately.
Except for Ted Lewis. All right.
Well, Ted Lewis is central. That's not North End. This doesn't serve the same population as Ted Lewis. And this will be a very simple park. We could potentially move some of the old playground equipment that's going to be removed from Ted Lewis Park, could go up there if the park board so decides, to make way for the basketball courts. We've got slides and climbing equipment and swings and things like that. So this would just give them the opportunity to do that.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Duval. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
No.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council rules are suspended.
Motion for passage?
Motion for passage by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Klitzka. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
No.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
Assigned 10/70/2024. An ordinance levying assessments for outstanding delinquent water and/or sewer bills on specific utility accounts.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance. It came from the Service Committee. Tom?
This is pretty standard. When people don't pay their water bills, we put a bill in their water. We put a charge against their tax levy, and this is another year we're doing it. Interestingly enough, there was one large bill here for about $6,000 where it was actually the owner was in jail, and they, unbeknownst to him, his family members moved in. The city turned the water off. They turned it back on. And again, by the time we caught it, we turned it off again. And by this time, pretty big bill, but it's still legitimate and what we do when people don't pay the water bill. So it's pretty straightforward ordinance.
Any other questions or comments? Motion?
To suspend the rules?
Motion to suspend rules by Jeff Hallinan, second by Tom Duval. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act on the ordinance. Motion for passage by Tom Duval, seconded by Zach Brooks. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
Ordinance number 10/71/2024. An ordinance levying assessments for fines due to violations of the vacant building enforcement program on certain city lots.
Council, for the first reading of this ordinance, again from the Service Committee. Tom?
This is part of when we redid the zoning codes, we had an issues with basically vacant properties throughout Circleville. And we have a zoning inspector now, and as a result, we are enforcing that. And this is for those people who, when they received their first and second letter, did nothing, then they start the fining process. And these are for those people who've done nothing.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
Other than this is, I think, a really important addition to the zoning code of the city of Circleville, and I totally support it.
Motion?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Zach Brooks, second by Tom Duval. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free.
Motion for passage.
Motion for passage by Jeff Hallinan, second by Zach Brooks. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
Ordinance number 10/72/2024. Resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this resolution. It's from the Finance Committee. Jeff?
Yes, Chair Katie Hedges has asked me to go ahead and take care of this for us, but we've got Mark here to explain it for us. There's just a couple housekeeping things that we're doing this one and the next one.
Thank you. So this is the revenue budget, tax budget, however you want to call it, that was passed back in June. Once it's passed, it goes to the Budget Commission, who then confirms the numbers, makes sure that the tax percentages and millage is all correct, sends it back to us for us to send back to them to basically say that we're agreeing that what they are saying is correct. So basically all it is, they did not make any changes to what I sent to them and that you guys agreed to back in June. So with that being said, this is all just something that we do annually, and it's just confirming what you've already confirmed a few months back.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Any other questions, comments, or is there a motion?
Motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Jeff Hallinan, seconded by John Moach. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend council rules.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act on the resolution.
Motion for passage.
Motion for passage by Zach Brooks, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Brooks,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Resolution 1073, 2024. An ordinance amending the annual appropriation ordinance in the General Fund 101 Street Construction Fund, 203 Capital Improvement 0.4% Income Tax Fund, 206 Safety Forces 0.5% Income Tax Fund, 212 Safety Forces 0.5% Income Tax Fund, 227 Waterworks Operating Fund, 808 and Sanitary Sewer Operating Fund, 909 of the City of Circleville.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance, again from the Finance Committee. Jeff?
Yes, this was a large amount or spreadsheet that we saw of rearrangements, so I'll let Mark talk to it.
Thank you. So you'll notice that there is 808 and 909. Basically, what we did was I needed to go to a different department under water and a different department under sewage. The $100,000 for the purchase of the ODOT property, $100,000 for each. So basically what it is moving out $100,000 from 2 lines and putting $100,000 back into 2 lines. So it's a net zero on that. The other expenses is in medical, dental, and life on the Fund 203, which is the street construction fund. There was $120,000 that was missed on the original budget. You guys already approved it. It just didn't get put in there when I first initially put it down. So this is making sure that gets back in there to take care of the rest of the year for that. And then the other large one is the payroll for the fire department. Basically what this is while we were waiting for the FEMA grant money to come through, we spent down more than in 212 than what we had expected to be able, because we assumed that FEMA grant money would be there. So this $420,000 basically covers that for the rest of the year. But FEMA grant money is now paying for that, which was, again, not what we got it towards the end of the year. So we will be getting another FEMA grant money for that SAFER, hopefully by the end of the year. And that will cover this, and hopefully going into 2025, we won't have to continually kind of catch up with that money. There is there's an engineering money that's for reimbursement, and then there is it's $29,000, and then there's a matching funds for the fire department ladder truck of $46,428.58. This is really exciting. I know Rob went over some of this earlier today. We're getting a fire truck that's 9 months early. We haven't heard that in how many years? 5 years, that something's actually early, especially a vehicle of this size. But this is really exciting. And this is our portion that FEMA put $928,000 towards it. And we're putting $46,000 plus the overage, which is, we covered $400,000. But again, what I'm allocating is the $46,428 for the city portion of that fire truck.
Thanks, Mark.
Question. So in safety committee, they considered an ordinance to purchase that ladder truck, and the city match listed in it as $498,000.
That's how much we owe after. We have a city match for that FEMA said you must pay this much, which was the $46,000.
Okay.
And then we have to, on top of that, pay the 409, whatever, 400 some $1,000. That is what we're going to be talking to US Bank about getting financing for.
I just want to make sure there wasn't a decimal point.
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Okay, all right. Council, you've heard the reading of the ordinance and the explanation from the auditor. Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Any motions?
Suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Jeff Hallinan, second by Zach Brooks. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend the rules.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act on the ordinance. Motion for passage by Tom Duval, seconded by John Moats. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
And is assigned 10/74/2024. An ordinance amending the City of Circleville zoning code to make certain changes and additions to the code and declaring an emergency.
Council, you've heard the first reading of this ordinance from the Judicial Committee. Tom Klitzka.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This actually comes from a recommendation from Planning and Zoning Commission. We've had a public hearing on this back in July. What we're really needing to do is to enact a zoning code, which allows us to basically regulate the location and character of all buildings, construction within the city of Circleville.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Any motions?
I make a motion to suspend the rules, please.
Motion by Tom Klitzka, seconded by Sherry Tice to suspend council rules. Roll call, please.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion for passage, please.
Motion for passage by Tom Klitzka, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
Signed 0/75/2024, and that's it.
Thank you, Melissa. Council, under new business, we got some business to take care of. First, we have a council member absent.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Katie Logan Hedges from this evening.
Second.
Motion by Jeff Hallinan, seconded by Tom Klitzka to excuse Katie Hedges from tonight's meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very much. From the Strategic Planning Committee, we have some Historical Review Board applicants to approve. Sherry, I'll let you go first.
Thank you, President Keller. We have an application from Mr. Christopher Burton to the Historic Review Board. He came this evening and spoke with us and seems to be very qualified, so we forwarded that application on with a recommendation that it be approved. I'd like to make a motion to that end.
Motion to approve Chris Burton to the Historical Review Board, seconded by Zach Brooks. Let's do a roll call.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Great, thank you very much. You'll be appointed to that board. And secondly,
We also had an application from Denise Sims Sunderland, and she also is qualified, so we sent that application forward with a recommendation that it be approved, and I would like to make a motion that it be done.
motion to approve Denise Sunderland,
Yes.
seconded by Tom Duval.
Tice,
Yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Denise is appointed to the Historical Review Board as well.
President Keller, both those terms are 3-year terms, and they will end on September 1st of 2027.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And lastly, we have an executive session request, so Mrs. Tice is going to make that motion.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn into executive session to consider the appointment of a public employee or official pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 121.22G1. I would like to include the President of Council, all the council members, the mayor, the law director, the safety director,
Yes.
and
Okay. Is there a second to
Anyone
that?
else?
And we will not come back into regular session. We will only come in to adjourn the meeting. Is there a second to that motion? Seconded by Jeff Hallinan. Roll call, please, on the motion to go to executive session.
Tice,
yes.
Blitzka,
Yes.
Hallinan.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We'll adjourn to executive session once the room clears. Again, we will only come back to the regular session to adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.